going to be getting on with, and a little bit of role playing. So we'll start with Kurokami again. What are you doing during your downtime?
So I'm going to be utilizing the fantastic downtime journal that our very own Chuck made. It is beautiful, and he deserves praise for it.
We have a journal now?
My morning routine. I actually began at the time of the dog, which is about 8 p.m., because that was the time that the Imperial Palace forges would stop working for the day, so I would be able to get in there and begin forging my very own no dachi. At the time of the hair, I would purify myself, meaning like take a shower, get cleaned up, and then attend my cousin Kakira Yuki for kata and other etiquette lessons, like finer detail work. And then at the time of the serpent, I would purify myself once more to meet within the actual imperial court and practice the things that he would. My evening routine would have been at the time of the horse, which is about, like, I believe, p.m. I would go to the Imperial Gardens and reflect alongside Shinigami upon knowing that I'm going to die, and not exactly how, but like I have absolutely sealed my fate, and it is the right thing to do. Daily activities: folding the steel. It takes a very long time. Practicing the etiquette, practicing with a boken at the Nodachi size, so that I will be able to effectively wield my weapon once it is forged. And then practicing etiquette in the court, and then finer sword detail. And that's it.
So, narratively, you're going to get a bit of a heads up on what the next sort of adventure will be in terms of for the group of you as Emerald Magistrates. During your time at court, obviously the Empress, alongside the Emerald Champion and the Jade Champion, who is Isawa from the Phoenix Clan, receive a lot of petitions from daimyo of clans and families, the governors and stuff of cities and towns. One in particular comes from the domain of the Crab Clan. This domain lies quite close to the Carpenter Wall, the Kuai Wall. The Great Wall runs, I think it's Kuia or AI. I'll double check the spelling for you, but it's the Great Wall that runs across the south of Rokugan. It separates it from the Shadowlands. A crab lord arrives at court to plead to the Empress and the Emerald Champion to send some Emerald Magistrate into the Crablands to investigate a string of assassinations and disappearances that have been taking place in settlements along the wall. Your cousin, Yuki, is very taken aback by the request. Normally, the Crab Clan are quite stoic, and very seldomly do they ever request assistance, unless they feel that it's a dire situation. And so, a request to investigate assassinations and disappearances seems to trouble him a little bit. He's willing to give that assistance, and he'll pull you aside during one of the after one of these meetings to discuss with you your feelings on being one of the Emerald Magistrate that he will call upon to go and investigate the situation.
I bow deeply to him and say, "You honor me, cousin. You, I will absolutely lend myself to ask. If the crabs themselves are asking for it, then it must be really important."
It's a dog. It's my cool. He will ask your opinions on your 3 companions that you're traveling with, and if you feel their skills would lend themselves to this task as well.
I say, I would fight side by side with a sheep any day. The Scorpion Bayushi Kisho could be incredibly useful at finding out what other people may not be so forthcoming to tell. What would be a word that would differentiate what kind of samurai he is, what kind of samurai we are? Bushi? Ubushi?
Yeah, he's a courtier, so you'd maybe highlight his more keen understanding of people's desires compared to, you know, the way of the sword.
Yeah, that's basically what I was trying to get at.
Yeah.
As for Akodo, and I kind of give him like a half smile because this is something that we've talked about a lot, is how I've been having a hard time dealing with this guy because he's kind of an asshole. Like I sense that he's a good person at heart, but like he's always showing me his ass. Like he's always being he's always being some type of way. I say,
how is he still alive?
Kind of like pushing back the smile, I say, Akodo are known for their skill in battle. It is bad enough we would be able to have one with us.
This is true. I see the merits in all 3 of your companions. The Shiba are some of the most skilled bodyguards and protectors in all of Rokugan, and I suspect that having a Shiba trained Bushi within the group is good for keeping their eye open on potential threats that you might not notice yourself, and protecting you from said threats. As for the Bayushi Scorpion clan, the only other clan that I could have seen being better suited to investigating a string of assassinations and murders might have been a member of the Dragon clan. But then the Dragon aren't as skilled in such deceitful acts as the Scorpion are. And maybe that insight will make this task easier on all of you. As for Akodo Kuro, his uncle treats me much of the same way, but hence is the relationship between the Shogun of the Empire and the Emerald Champion. We both fulfill similar roles on behalf of the Empress. But I know that Kuro, despite bearing the Akodo name, has more in line with his mother's family. The Matsu have short tempers and can be reckless. When dealing with Crab, these traits might actually stand you in good stead. The Crab aren't ones for flowery words.
And a lion to roar before a crab.
Then I will give you some time to prepare while I send notifications to your companions about the situation. You should be ready to leave before the end of the month.
I kind of like, I'm taken aback for a second. I say, you really think that I'm that close? Almost ready?
This conversation happens probably about a month into your downtime. So, but yeah, you've spent time reflecting on your previous task, as have all of your companions. So to leave you lingering for much longer would stagnate any motivation you might have.
I bow again, like taking this as a huge compliment. that I mean, I already know that he thinks I'm not a piece of shit because he made me an Emerald Magistrate, but I was worried that he might have been regretting his blade. This is starting to change my mind about that. Yeah, I just say thank you. I will not let you down.
And I'll let you continue your training and your crafting, preparing what you need before your companions arrive and you set off on your journey. And with that, I'll let you go and give me some crafting rolls.
Souls. Somebody please give me souls.
Here we go.
Okay.
Spend them souls.
Crafting time.
So I'm going to allow you to make 2 rolls, 1 for each month. So if you fail it in the first month, you've still got the second month that you can
There
try
you
and.
go.
Okay, so it is trained for me. So it is trained.
Yep, you do have ranks in it.
Thank you, Jihan. I knew that you were the clutch boy.
There it is.
Alright, so we add a 1 craft. And
Yep.
Whoobash.
Number. Yep. Okay. Target number to create a Nodachi was 25.
Thank you, Jihan.
And that was your first roll. So in your first month, might extend a little bit longer than that initial month, but you managed to observe the craftsmanship of some of the Imperial blacksmith while you fold the steel and prepare your own Nodachi, your own great blades. It isn't a match for a Kakita blade. And it isn't a katana. It's not quite the soul of a samurai, but it is a dangerous sword. And your enemies will definitely know that they have been in a fight if you have to draw it upon anyone.
This is effectively Kurakami's undertaking of like, I know what my destiny is. I have to earn it. I don't deserve it yet. I have to make my own way, and then eventually I will be made whole when it's time for me to go die. So, yeah, I use the proper steel and alloys, obviously taking my time. I'm doing this like at night, working the forges at night. Once my blade is prepared to make a hilt, I take the antler from the deer that I killed, and I make the teeth out of the hide that I took from it after having it tanned and trained. And then once it's made, I chisel into it and put it down.
Your love.
Tomotsukai. Oathkeeper.
Is that the name of the sword?
Yes.
Oathkeeper. Okay. Cool. You might even get like a fire shigenja or something within the court to, bless the blade or something once you've crafted it.
Oh, can I
Like
do that?
seal the name. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, the smith probably has at least one on hand who can do that for you. Can you also give me a check the skills? Sorry, I've just jumped the page on your sheet because it's open.
I was making sure I set my craft back down. So, like,
Yeah. Can you give me just a straight perception roll for your time at court?
oof.
Yeah, you're so engrossed with your own crafting, as well as any relative conversations that you may have with your cousin while you're there. That anything else that goes on in court that doesn't directly impact you is pretty much over your head. Uh,
Sounds about right.
cool. Is there anything else that you're doing during your downtime?
Nothing that would require like role play or dice rolling, I think. After that.
Cool. Pretty sure at some point during this you will receive a letter from Bioshikisho, but we'll cover that during his turn. Okay, and speaking of his turn, Kisho, you are up. What are you doing during your downtime, the 2 months that you have away from court?
Kisho's downtime is pretty rank and file, actually. Very similar. Hirakami, his day is start to finish mapped out, almost methodically. His mornings begin at the end of Ox and last till about the start of Dragon. He begins his day meditating on his death, as most samurai do. For him, it's a little bittersweet in the sense that like he's still getting to be used to the fact that he is a courtier. Like, so while his loyalty to his clan and the family is absolute, there's still just that little biting every time he has to do. So he starts off his days by meditating on death, and following that, he spends a little bit of time meditating in front of his great-grandfather's garb and his katana. Following that, he spends some time training with his wife, specifically with the Sai the Jute, and then he ends his morning routine closer to the start of Dragon practicing archery. And every now and then, most days, he also prepares in the garden. His days are spent in Kyuta Mayushi, the, I guess, seat of power for the Scorpion clan, and he spends most of his days at court. It's not the Imperial court, but it's still in attendance with the Scorpion Grand Champion, and Kisho is right now essentially trying to play the political game to move himself up in family. He has decided if he is going to focus on being a courtier, well, then he's going to be the best goddamn courtier there is, and he's going to bring everybody down with him. So he is also kind of flexing, I'm the Ever Magistrate now, and using that to his advantage in the local court. And then his evenings are spent very similar to his mornings, in that he's going to do the same thing. He's going to meditate on his great-grandfather's belongings. But instead of meditating on death again, he spends the majority of the evening with his wife and then reading scrolls and sending letters. Writing and sending letters is probably the biggest portion of his evening.
Yep. Yeah, so what kind of letters are you writing and who to?
He sends letters to all of his companions but Kuro.
Ooh.
Wow. Got him.
Everybody knows lions can't read.
Yep.
Lions can't read.
I can read. I just can't read well. It's like I'm gonna get the letter just like this is too many brushstrokes.
It just says A as for apple.
I'm here sitting it down just like, yes. Paper is made out of paper. Yeah, yes, this paper is made out of paper. Yes.
It's just blank. You just get a letter, it's just blank.
I understand the significance of this. Correlated on. Hey, does anybody know what a blank piece of paper
is? Can you tell me what this word is? That's your name. I knew that.
Oh no! Did we lose Andy's audio again?
No.
Oh, okay.
Still here.
Okay.
Still here.
But yeah,
Okay, so
he says they're literally just bland, essentially keeping in contact. I hope you're doing well. I cherish our time together. I look forward to our next meeting. Bayoshikisho. Like, it's nothing flowery them. He also sends sends a letter to Utomo. Obviously, things did not go the way he wanted them to. And he is essentially impressing upon him that this is not over and he is actively still looking to make this. And then another letter he sends out, or I guess would even maybe personally speak to the Grand Champion about, is he's trying to find the connection to the clan and Lady Kagami. And if Kisho had inadvertently interrupted something going on there, and if so, about getting something going on there again, but maybe this time actually under clan control if it wasn't, to help actually bring some security and control to that port as kind of a central location. And as much as it may seem like he's trying to, make deals all sides of the table, that's kind of a place in the lands we want to make sure is actually well kept up and free of corruption so we can hold people off.
Okay. So there are a few things in there. If you're looking for information on Lady Kagashi and her role within the Scorpion clan, if you're openly asking about it, I'm going to need a courtier role from you.
Okay.
Five is difficult. Probably not. Yeah, the information on Lady Kagashi that you get from Bayushi Nobunaga, who is the champion and daimyo of the Scorpion clan. He sort of actually haven't heard that name in a long time. We assumed that maybe the Crane magistrates had executed her a while back, and she stopped corresponding with the clan. She was our spy in terms of the financial comings and goings within Murasabshi Toshi. A few decades ago now. We've since implemented other spies within the city, but none quite had her knack for drawing information out of her customers.
So then would it be viable to replace her with somebody else?
Would indeed, if you have a suggestion for how we could implement such an agent.
I do believe so. We made connections with a crab captain in the area. I was hoping to remove the Doji family from the lands, but with his connection, the Gaijin coming in and out of the area, I feel it would be rather easy to set up shop in the T1s again. As well as a operative I made contact with in the town already does exist there.
And what would you need to establish this connection?
What I had promised the Mantis was clan control of the city. That did not come to pass. However, from my conversation with the Emerald Champion, it does not seem to be that he was very pleased with how the Doji family is running the city as a whole. So, I do not think it'd be that much harder to spread some gossip in the city and lower the already, I guess, tainted honor of the controlling family as is. As we need strength in the region, and they are not it.
He pulls a scroll out from one of his long sleeves with a crane seal on it. Seems that the Doji family have already replaced the former magistrate of the city. You see him use a long thumbnail to sort of pop the seal.
Yep.
You might be interested in reading this. He hands it to you. The letter says that Lord Genai Doji of the Crane clan, in penance for the sort of corruption and offence that took place within Murasabshi Toshi, has taken the honourable path and committed seppuku. His wife has reverted back to her maiden name and returned to the Lion clan. And that the Crane clan have appointed a new lord of the city.
Does it say who the Lord is?
They have appointed a woman called Daidoji as an ami, as the new governor of the city.
Does that name ring any bells to me?
That'd be the Lord Bushido role.
Ooh, where?
You've got the one.
Oh! I don't think I made that right. Hold on.
28 plus 9.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
Yep. That is... Okay. So the Daidoji family of the Crane clan are they're cousins of the Doji. At some point in history, an offshoot of the Doji family were allowed to sort of create their own family within the clan. The term literally translates to iron, the Iron Crane. Most of the Daidoji family are Bushi, and they tend to take the roles of Yojimbo for the Doji and Asahina, the Shigenja family of the Crane clan.
Okay.
Unlike Kakita, who take the practice of sword fighting to an art form, where the Kakita almost exclusively focus on the art of the duel. The Daidoji are the actual military strength of the Crane clan. But just because she is a Daidoji doesn't mean she isn't trained as a courtier. It's common
Yeah.
for families to be trained in other schools within
Yeah.
their clan. But she's clearly from that family, but has been trained as a courtier if she's been appointed as the governor of
Okay.
this town. But she's far more likely to take a more heavy-handed approach to governing the city compared to what a doji might be expected to do.
Okay.
Her appointment is pretty much the crane going, okay, yep, you've caught us out. You've caught us letting
Yep, we
shit
fucked
go
up. We'll
wrong.
handle it.
Yep. Now we're going to put somebody a little bit more psycho in charge, and they'll take care
Gotcha.
of it.
So it might not be the greatest time to try to be implementing a spy network in the city.
Unless your spies are really good at what they do.
Yeah.
Spies that act as criminals are probably not a good.
No. Just keep apprised of the situation then is essentially.
Yeah. But you could probably implement spies elsewhere.
Great heroes can be found even here,
Yeah.
in the mud and rain.
BBC, what's up, buddy? Thank you so much for the sub, bro.
Cool.
Sub.
So that's your courtier role. You were requesting a few things the last time.
Yes. Kisho came back to the city really bougie as hell. Like, he came back and he was like, yo, I need you, Jimbo. I need you to pay for a horse for me. I need you to pay for some armor with me. He showed up like the spoiled stepchild, looking for somebody to pay him for something. And he was like also actively trying to get close to Bayushi Nobunaga. Like, he is trying to like slide into that role.
Yeah. Sucking up to the lords of the clan.
And he's still also trying to glean some information on his brother's situation at the same time.
That is a much more difficult role. That would require an investigation role. But it is going to be a very difficult role. Like,
Right.
target number 40.
Ooh.
Oh fuck.
Good luck.
All right. Let's see.
It's like, you didn't write to me. Psh, good luck.
Right. Fuck, man.
You do spend some time inquiring among some of the elders, amongst particularly the Bayushi family, but even a little further throughout the Scorpion clan as a whole, about the exact reasoning behind your brother's execution. But those members of the clan that you try and speak to about the situation, they treat it as if your brother never really existed. Like, they don't know who you're talking about. He dishonored the clan. He was executed. Now they don't consider him as an actual person. And that's the wall that you kind of come up against.
Yeah.
Every time you ask questions about it. And as you'd expect, the Shosuro of the Scorpion clan, or they don't even acknowledge you.
Yeah.
Even if you're a Bayushi and an Emerald Magistrate, if you ask questions about that sort
Don't
of
give
stuff.
a fuck, yep.
But yeah. As for your Jimbo request, if you've got enough experience to buy the advantage, allies advantage.
I did. I rolled back to make it enough, so I put in 4 points to Yojimbo, or to
Okay.
loyalty, so that motherfucker will die for me.
Yeah. Okay. So you I think let me quickly double check something. I had my eye on a few alternative schools. Scorpion Clan.
Hello, puppy. Yeah. Hello, puppy.
Are you talking about my dog?
Yeah.
Yeah. So you'll be given a bodyguard.
Okay.
Are you Jimbo? A bushy. I'm going to open up the Great Clans book a second. The Great Clans book has names for
Yep.
vassal families, not one of the 4 major ones. It seems likely that you'd be granted a lesser scorpion as a bodyguard. Not to say that they're inferior; they'll be trained as a
Yeah.
Bayushi, Bushi, but Great Clan vassal families. Here we go. Scorpion Clan.
Bless you.
You're. Let me find a name generator as well. Do you want a male or female? Jimbo.
Does not matter.
Cool. And we'll stick with male then. We will scroll down to something that doesn't start with A. You are given a Jumbo called Takumi, and he belongs to the Nambu family of the Scorpion Clan. They're a lesser family, vassal family. The family were originally peasant warriors that the Scorpion Clan brought up during a period of dissent in the Empire and granted the status of samurai to. They actually tend to form take jumbo roles normally for Shugenja, but in this case, the clan has granted you a Jimbo, and he's called Nambu Takumi, and is trained in the Bushi school. As your bodyguard. I'll stat him up later on. But yeah, you've been granted that request. As for a horse, what would you prefer, a horse or the armor?
Ooh.
You can get one or the other.
Armor.
Armor, okay. Then they will give you a set of Ashigaru armor.
Perfect.
That's a heavy armor, right?
And that's the lightest armor you can get.
Armor.
Yeah.
Mm.
But it means he can wear it more subtly and still perform his duties as a sneaky ninja if he needs to.
Yep. It'll fit under my kimono versus going over the top.
Cool. then is that you for your downtime?
Yes, that is me for my downtime.
Cool. Okay, Shira, you return back to your home village. The village that you were granted as part of your marriage arrangements with your wife, who I have already made a name for. Izawa Hotaru is your wife's name. She's a member of the Isawa family, who are the sort of... They're the de facto ruling family of the Phoenix clan. It's the family that most of the elemental masters of the Phoenix clan come from. They are the greatest Shigenja in all of Rokugan. And your wife is one of them. And she is a Shigenja, and that is where you originally met. You were paired up with her as Hori Jimbo. She travelled through the Empire at one point as a sort of pilgriming, on a pilgrimage as a Shigenja. You would have travelled with her as a bodyguard. And that turned into romance, which turned into love, which turned into a request to marry her, which was granted along with lands in a fertile part of the Phoenix provinces. And this is where you're returning home. So what are you doing during your downtime?
All right. I actually filled out this downtime sheet, this beautiful downtime sheet, as you guys were talking, which is good because I don't like to metagame anyway. So, anyway, my morning routine begins with meditating at this like shrine that I have inside my home. Centered in that is the mask that I wear when I fight. I leave it there when I'm home, kind of signifying to myself that it's like my peaceful time, to like leave that behind for a minute, leave the killing behind for a minute, because Shiru despises the fact that he has to take life sometimes, but he understands that through that mask, the kami are working through him to build something better. So it's like a necessary thing that he has to do. Then I take a silent stroll through the town, and in a typical kind of bodyguard way, kind of study the people that are closest to me and the people that I love to make sure that nothing weird's going to happen. Almost kind of paranoia, but not quite.
Okay. So it is, by the time you sort of wrapped up your first adventure, it is the month of the dragon.
Mhm.
The end, the 26th of the month of the dragon, which is like May, so it's the end of spring, coming into summer. All the peasants and stuff have already sown all the fields, all the crops have been planted, and they're starting to kind of grow by this point. You can see some of the fresh green shoots starting to grow out of the land. The peasants in your land all recognise you as their lord, and they'll bow and they'll do whatever you ask them to do as pleasantly as they can. Your wife, when you return to your land, has a bit of a surprise for you.
Oh boy.
The first thing that she'll say, or that you notice when you arrive, is she comes and greets you with her hands on her stomach.
Oh.
There's not really much of a bump there at the moment, but she gives you the good news that she found out shortly after you left to the Imperial Court that she was with child.
Damn.
And so she is maybe only about 2 months pregnant by
Congrats.
this point.
Okay.
But that she's so happy to have you back, and that you're going to be here for a few months with her. And that she fully expects you to take on all the duties as the lord of the land in the 2 months that you are here. But she says it with a bit of a laugh and a smile, as if her being a dainty woman like that would ever actually happen. Like, you've seen her during the times when she was on her pilgrimage and you were with her. Those weren't always safe times, and you've seen your wife handle herself as well as any Bushi could, while wielding magic or the power of the kami. Um, and you know that you have like attendants and things like that here that will take good care of her even while you're gone.
Right.
Uh,
I definitely plan on being, doing a lot of village type things, obviously, while I was here. One of them even was to kind of star as myself in a makeshift little play for the peasants, specifically aimed towards the adventure that I just went on, leaving out the part about my little anger moment and making myself seem, doing the whole hero thing.
yeah. Put on a kabuki show.
Yeah, like a little funny play show thing. I do have a performance stat, so.
Yeah, so you can give me a performance roll if you'd like.
Ooh. There's a lot of talking, so that's the stat that I have.
Yeah, you've got the oratory bonus, so you're telling the story and acting out parts of it for the
Right.
peasants and the children in the village in particular.
So,
Are really
should I
keen.
roll with emphasis then?
Yeah, you can roll with emphasis.
It's a low number.
18 is okay. So a 15 is an average pass.
Okay.
And 20 is moderate. So 18 is pretty decent. You're successful in telling your story in a way that captures the imagination of all the villagers that are watching you, and some of the samurai attendants that tend to you and your wife are also kind of watching. Some of them probably wishing that they were the ones on going on adventures like this. Particularly some of the younger, like maybe some of the samurai within the village, or people of samurai caste, at least, who are maybe in their teenage years. They're not quite old enough yet to kind of go out and see the world on their own. Are kind of taking this all in, and it's sort of spurring their imagination.
Mission
Yeah,
accomplished.
it sort of it helps sort of paint you as an actual person to many of the peasants in the village who, might have forgot that you existed in the past 2 months that you've been gone.
Hey, I'm still here. I was gone for a bit, but I'm still here.
What
Hey
else are you
guys, I
doing?
was off doing samurai shit. I'm back.
Yeah. At some point, I wanted to get to the coast and take like a couple days of a fishing trip.
Yep.
Since I enjoy doing that, just to kind of take probably right in the middle there somewhere, like a little mini vacation,
Yeah.
Also, the sea and the sunset in general are something that pleases Shiru a lot. So.
Yeah. So your lands are sort of they lie sort of in between. If you look at the map, Kyuden Izawa, which is
Mhm.
like the capital or like the main castle, belong to the Izawa family, and Shirashiba, which is a small town that sort of belongs to the Shiba family. Your villages sort of lie somewhere in the land
Okay.
in
Yeah.
between. Yeah. And so yeah, it might take you a day or two to actually travel to the coast, but once you're there, yep, you can enjoy your time fishing. Your wife probably goes along with you. She's quite happy to commune with the wind and water kami that are there while you enjoy a spot of fishing and just a relaxing atmosphere.
Definitely trying to keep it like that, Low stress for the baby that I didn't know I had when I wrote this sheet.
Gotta keep surprises.
That is true. The only other kind of little things is I also wanted to see if I can find any information about like medicine and stuff. I know I could probably write to some people that I used to have contact with, schooling wise, because I definitely don't want to suffer an injury like I did on my previous adventure and not have at least some knowledge myself about what's going on.
Yeah. So there's likely attendants that tend to your wife into your estate in general while you're in. One of those will probably be some sort of medicine person, like a doctor or a wise woman in a village that knows a thing or two about medicine. Who, if you request, being the lord of the land, they will try and impart some of that wisdom onto you.
Perfect. So there was that, and then I also just wanted to gain kind of any information about how I could possibly use this status as magistrate in the future for myself politically.
Yeah.
Basically, kind of the political landscape of where I am now and where I might be able to retire to as soon as I possibly can, which would kind of be even more prevalent in my mind now that I have a child on the way. I don't want to have to be running around the country doing police stuff.
Yeah. So, as a lord of your own village and a magistrate, it actually puts you a little bit higher than your companions in terms of status within Rokugan. You're a lord of a village as well as being an emerald magistrate. And so the two things combined give you a little bit more political clout when, seeking audiences with other members of the samurai caste and things like that, which you could probably use maybe with some advice from someone maybe a little bit more intrigue minded. You could probably find yourself a position within your own clan that would then put you out of that would allow you to sort of step down as an emerald magistrate without causing insult to the emerald champion.
Right.
But that will require a little bit of work.
Yeah, I wanted to find that
time.
spot that's like way up there that I'm like, hey, if I could get up to that, then I don't have to do this stuff anymore, and I can. Yeah.
But the position you're in, proving yourself to be like an honorable samurai of who has ingratiated themselves into the empire in such a way the rest of your clan will recognize that. The most obvious path to take would be to become the Phoenix Clan champion.
Right.
Which for the Phoenix Clan doesn't mean that you're the head of the clan. Unlike most other clans, the champion and daimyo of the clan are one and the same. They're the same person. The Phoenix Clan are a little bit different. They're obviously ruled by the Shigenja family, who have their own leadership. And the Phoenix Clan champion is just that. They are the defenders of the clan, which would keep you closer to home. And the Phoenix Clan being one of the most peaceful clans in Rokugan means you're very, very unlikely to have to ever really get into a confrontation unless it's something that threatens the entire empire. In which case, as a samurai, you would be pulled into that anyway.
Right.
But that would be the most direct route to try and take at some point, is to use the prestige that you gain from being an emerald magistrate to then maybe challenge for the role of clan champion at some point.
Cool. Yeah, I would definitely keep that in mind. The only other two quick things would I would want to find some kind of more ceremonial kimono.
Yeah, something.
Because I know at some point I'm going to be resummoned again, and I want to be able to wear something nice for my next audience in front of the Emerald Champion.
Yep. That's understandable. So I think there are. So a kimono can range anywhere from 1 bu, which is a silver, and up. For a decent kimono, one that's nice, made out of silk or something like that, it's a bit more dressy for a Imperial court summons. You probably want to maybe spend like a koku on it. Just to get something that's a little bit fancier than your everyday kimono.
All right, I will do that.
Yeah.
Also add that to my items. And then the only other thing I just wanted to do little story stuff that I wrote in here. Chiro's growing increasingly like frustrated as he's meditating because he can't figure out why he got so mad before. And he's like, he might take a hard tone here and there with people on accident because of that, and he would just be really dismissive if they were below his station. He wouldn't be apologetic at all, just kind of walk away from it, which might put some people
shit.
off, even if he is
Okay.
generally a good person. You know, it just might put him off a little bit, but he might not even notice that because it's just kind of like he's in his own head.
Okay, yeah.
Then also his soon-to-be wife probably reminds him that he shouldn't do the same thing. He shouldn't take the same walk every morning in the same path, saying, you know, bowing to the same people, doing the same thing all the time because it's, you know, it's not smart. And
Yeah.
he's like, nah, I'm doing it anyway.
All round dismissive. Okay, that reminds me. You're having 2 months of downtime, so I'm going to need 2 earth rolls from you. This is Shadowland time. And this might be part of the reason why you're becoming a little bit more aggressive.
Yeah, I wouldn't say so much aggressive as just maybe snappy
A little
here
bit
and there.
snappy.
Yeah,
Your mood isn't quite what it should be.
just agitated.
Yeah. So I'm
All
going
right, we're doing Earth.
two earth rolls, yeah. Oh,
8, 10.
10. Yeah, you're
Isn't it
fine.
5 that I got? Yeah, okay. That
Yeah.
8 was close. It's too close
It
for
was
me.
close. It was very close. So the first month that you're back home is worse than the second one in terms of nightmares and things like that for you. But that's all they kind of stay at. It really just stays at some nightmares every few nights. Again, you're always kind of reminded of the day that your father came back from a journey that you're not entirely sure where he went, but he didn't stay very long either. Before he disappeared for good from you and your mother's life. Your father was a member of the Crab Clan. But yeah, you've not seen him since you've not heard of anything from him since.
It's definitely why I'm also all about like, okay, I need to make sure I'm here because I have a kid now.
Yeah.
What the hell?
Thanks. You being the Lord of Eden, you directly get sent a letter with the crane seal on it that informs you that Lord Doji of Murasabishi Toshi has committed seppuku. That a new magistrate or a new governor has been put in charge of the city, and that his wife, the former Lady Doji, is reverted back to Akodo and returned back to the Lionlands. All as a result of what happened during your mission there.
Right. I think I would not be particularly surprised at that, but also happy that it wasn't switched clans.
Yeah. Cool. Is that us? Is that
Yeah, I'm good.
Cool. Then the one I've been looking forward to.
Oh no.
Kuro. The first thing I recall you wanted to do was go speak to your uncle, who is the shogun of the empire.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so what are you wanting to discuss with your uncle?
I just want to discuss the things that have occurred. I basically want to talk about the contents of my letter, and then I want to talk about taking over as the family daimyo. Because Kuro he believes that since he's one of the few people eligible to take over as the daimyo, he's like, okay, my competitors, I don't even have to worry about them. I'm gonna be the next daimyo. So he's trying to prepare taking over the role. He's like, yeah, so I already know this is going to happen. Let me go ahead and start making moves. And so he basically wants to go talk to his uncle about the contents of his letter and the role of daimyo.
Okay. So yeah, the role of daimyo, as I've mentioned a few times, we've been going around, is actually the clan champion. So your father is currently the clan champion of the Lion Clan, which makes him the leader of the Lion Clan. Your position as the next clan champion isn't set in stone.
No, it's
Anyone,
not set in stone. That's what he believes. That it's like, okay, yeah,
you're
I'm
confident
next.
enough in your ability that you can easily claim the role of clan champion when it comes the time. But your uncle he's an Akodo through and through. Your brash nature and things like that put you closer to your mother's side of the family, being a Matsu. But your uncle is a through and through Akodo. It's cold, calculating strategy, and he will be very quick to remind you that, unlike other clans within Rokugan, but only one family can really claim the role of clan champion. And it's usually the leading family within a clan. That both members of the Akodo family and Matsu family are eligible to claim the right to challenge for the role of clan champion. And asks if you are ready to face that much scrutiny.
Indeed, I am, Uncle. For this is my journey in life.
You've been given a great honour, my nephew, and being granted the role of the Emerald Magistrate. My advice to you, if you wish to become clan champion of the Lion Clan, is to continue on the path of Emerald Magistrate for a little longer. There's no doubt many things that you'll learn on that path.
Kuro is gonna give a nod of understanding. I appreciate the excellent advice, my uncle. Now, about the contents of the letter that I sent you. And I want to go discuss the letter from that point on about how we got took into the brothel, how fights got broken out, how Lady and Lord Doji Lord Doji wanted his son to live. So, and how Lady Doji was to him rude to a family member.
Now, your parents are probably about the same age as Lord and Lady Doji, and your uncle is of a similar age. He sort of nods his head. You met Kusari. She's also a member of our family. A distant cousin of mine and your father's. She's a stubborn woman and very strict in the adherence to Bushido. She had high expectations for her son, and I believe he disappointed her in every turn. I think your interference in what she felt should have been his rightful execution has maybe embittered her. You won't have heard yet, and not many in the Empire will have, but Doji Genai has committed seppuku for what occurred in the city.
An honorable thing.
Kusari has retaken the Akodo name and returned back to the Lion Clan. If you've already insulted her once, my nephew, then that is going to be an extra thorn in your path to becoming clan champion.
All bushes must be tended to. Even the finest rose bush will have these thorns clipped in my presence.
And another thing that I must tell you, if you wish to become the leader of a clan, is your disinterest in politics. Unfortunately, will not serve the clan champion to have such an attitude.
I understand, Uncle. I will return to my studies and improve upon my failures.
Now, one of your companions is a scorpion.
Yes, I have written about him. Kisho is what I call him, for he is my brother in arms, Uncle.
The scorpion are not to be trusted lightly, nephew.
I understand that very well, Uncle. I believe I have felt the sting of a scorpion very harshly, to put it as such.
But they understand politics well. Maybe not in the most honourable sense, but you can maybe learn a thing or two.
I understand, Uncle.
Is there any further business you wish to discuss, nephew, before you return back home?
I have acquired a small child during during my time.
Almost made me spit my water out, dude. Relax. I just acquired a child.
I
Imagine
just
the
found
boy,
the small boy.
the red-headed boy that travels with him.
Yes, Uncle. I plan to raise that child and teach him the ways of the Bushido Code and make him into a fine samurai.
You're. It's hard for him to hide the distasteful look on his face. Your father won't appreciate it, and who knows how your mother will react.
I know what
Two
to
women.
expect. I know what to expect when I get home, but with my mother, I at least plan to find some sort of giveaway. Mother is a warrior through and through. She understands that warriors aren't made overnight. Like, you can see the fear in Kuro's face when he talks about his mom and dad.
Yeah. Let's hope your mother doesn't decide to feed the boy to her pet lion.
Oh boy.
I'm here for this family drama. I'm here for it.
I thought Tanjiro got sick of food poisoning, Uncle. I thought the lion died.
The lions have stomachs of iron, nephew.
I see. I will make sure to properly speak to my parents then about the young lad.
She might be okay with it, seeing as the boy will bear the Akodo name and not the Matsu name. That's a point to point out. Your mother isn't an Akodo. She didn't ever take the Akodo name. Matsu women do not take the names of their husband. But your father being the clan champion, it wouldn't have been right for him to take the Matsu name either. So both of them just use their given family names. Yeah. Your mum might be okay with it since Akira will not have the Matsu name. He'll be an Akodo.
I will make sure.
It's your dad's problem.
I will make sure. I will make sure to talk to both my mother and father. Is there any words that you want me to tell to them, Uncle?
Tell them that all was fairly quiet here in the court. since the new Empress has taken the throne. Actually a little bored here at court.
I understand, Uncle. I will deliver mother and father the news. I will bid you well now.
Sort of lightly bows to you.
I give a deep bow to my uncle before I get it up and hastily get it out. Because now I'm sweating. I'm like, oh shit, now I really can't hide it. Mama's gonna kick my ass.
And with that, you return home.
Before I leave the capital, I am
Mhm.
going to make sure. I am going to get Akira a new change of clothes and get him a blank kimono with some proper sandals. I'm also gonna make sure that he's cleaned up and groomed to be presentable. Like I want Akira to see like the look of panic and like fear on my face as I do all of these things for him.
Okay, then yeah. Then spend 2 bu. Just like 2 silver.
Two silver. Okay. So I need
Um,
to take out. I need to get the conversion rate. I forgot to write down the conversion rate.
5 bu per coca.
Okay. And it was 3 boo, you said?
2 bu.
Okay.
You get him a fairly decent kimono, something that's sturdy that will hold up to the rigors of travel, but that is still presentable, and a decent sturdy pair of sandals. The boy up until this point hasn't even been wearing sandals. And the kimono is clearly like it's been a hand-me-down that's been stitched up a few different times. He's been wearing, so the fresh set of clothes is all very, very new to him. But yeah.
Okay. After making sure he's presentable, I'm like considering, okay, should I dye his hair? No. Mom would smell it. Yeah. Oh God. Like it's the panic. It's just like, okay. No, this is fine. This is fine.
Getting that Jason Todd syndrome going. Dies right.
Father, what's wrong? Why are you upset? Did I do something
Smiley,
wrong?
stop, sweetheart. Sit down. No, it's not you, boy. It's your grandparents. Like I get down on one knee and like grab his shoulders. Grandparents. That's what's wrong. I need you to understand. I am a lion among people. They're a lion among lions. I wish the master ferocity of my mother, the tactical, cold-hearted gaze of my father. Soon I will have these traits, but now, no, I do not. I train every day. You know this. You train with me. I am not yet strong enough to challenge them in anything. You must understand, Akira, that these are people way beyond the both of our station. Hopefully, I'll be able to deflect most of the blow with the fact that I was chosen as an Emerald Magistrate. Not to mention, we just liberated a whole city. Mother and father should be proud. You would not be fed to Tanjiro.
Tanjiro the lion. He looks a little bit confused when you say he won't be fed to Tanjiro.
Oh, Tanjiro's the family lion. That's our pet.
See the fear?
When I left, I thought Tanjiro had food poisoning. Between you and me, I was glad for the old lion to be put down. When we used to play together, he was quite too rough for me.
Well, Euro poisoned that line.
Right?
Some of those scars from my lion.
It's dishonourable
Akira,
to poison a person, but to poison a lion, that's fine.
no, I didn't poison him. Koro didn't poison him.
Cool. Um,
Tell me, Akira, have you ever been dragged by your neck by a lion before to be dropped off at your mother's feet? It's a haunting feeling, trust me, knowing that the lion is knowingly bringing you to your mother.
I can picture it.
Literally
Picked up by the
fetch my
scruff
kid.
of the neck. Yep. When you know you're in trouble.
Kuro has a doggy bed at the end of the bed.
Okay. Yeah, the boy is in absolute shock and horror.
That's why we're gonna make you presentable during this travel back home. We're gonna take our time. You're gonna prepare. The workouts are now gonna get twice as serious, twice as hard, twice as challenging. You're gonna build muscle mass in order to present yourself in front of my mother and father. I need to start teaching you pen and paper. I need to make sure you read. Oh Lord. So yeah, on the way back home, we're taking our time. I mean, we're everything is slow pace. And every single day, every morning, I am making sure Akira runs 5 miles. He's doing 100 push-ups, 100 sit-ups. I'm making sure he picks up heavy rocks. He's squatting. He's lifting it up above his head. My man is training. And then in the afternoons, I'm showing him how to read and write. Albeit slowly, but still learning how to read and write.
Yep, he is picking up. He's maybe picking up a little faster than you did as a child. But yeah, you spend the time training on the road. And eventually you end up at the sort of walled gates of Shiro Akodo.
Actually, Akira, let's turn around. I think we forgot something on the road.
The lion samurai guarding the walls of the Akodo fortress are in heavy armor with the full Kabuto helmet on with the plumes of little lion hair sticking out of the back like a mane.
Taking a deep breath and then exhaling, Kuro is gonna walk forward and introduce himself to the guards, making sure to give a slight bow, and making sure Akira bows deeply. He would have talked about this on the road. He makes sure that Akira bows as deep as humanly possible because of the station difference, the status difference.
The guards will bow deeply to you. Lord Akodo, your mother and father have been waiting your arrival and have told us to usher you right into the throne room.
Fuck.
They actually said you better go grab your own Switch first.
Do not worry. Maintain your posts. I will make haste straight to mother and father. You have my word.
They'll follow you in.
Damn it. Come, Akira, stay close.
Ushering you along quickly till you get to the audience chamber of the Akodo family palace, where your mother sort of sits lounging back in a chair, one hand resting on this giant male lion that sits next to her with a big black mane and like this kind of deep, like antique gold sort of coloured fur. Like, he's an old lion, but he's still big and powerful to look at. She's sitting stroking his mane with one hand, while her other hand sits on a war fan that's at her side that she lightly sort of taps. Your father, on the other hand, is sitting upright. His arms folded and tucked into the sleeves of his kimono, with this steely look in his eyes as you come into the room.
Mother, father, your son greets you respectfully, I say as I give a deep bow. And Akira is going to give the most humanly possible deepest bow.
Your father motions all of the guards and attendants in the room out.
Oh God, no. Please, no.
Been sitting like this for the past month, waiting for him to come. Cool.
Father, does your son have permission to speak? To sit?
My son has permission to bow.
Yes, father. I give the deepest bow again.
Bring forward the boy.
Yes, father. I say as I get up from my bow. Akira, come. As I bring Akira forward and present them in front of my father. Akira, this is my father. I say as I give a deep bow. Father, here's the child as presented. You can hear like the fear in my voice as I speak to him.
The boy sort of deeply bows, and you hear him say, Oji-san, which is grandfather, Japanese. You see your father's eyes sort of narrow on the boy, and your mum, she picks up the war fan and sort of covers her face with it. Oji-san, is it? What's your name, boy? Not you. Points at you.
Yes,
Not
father.
giving you permission to speak. Akira Oji-san? Father takes a deep breath. You have no family name, boy. Aren't you an Akodo now, boy? Akodo Akira Oji-san. The boy shows more backbone than you did as a child, Kuro.
Father, to be fair, every day you and mother had me, along with my siblings, training. Roughly, Akira has not had that same treatment as how I have, father.
Are you suggesting that me and your mother mistreated you and your siblings growing up?
No, father, not at all. I would not be the man I am here today if it wasn't for such training. It's just Akira has not seen your anger, father, your wrath.
Your mother sort of waves the fan a little bit, still petting the lion. Why did you pick this boy, Kuro?
Simple, mother. He was the only child to safely approach me with confidence as he took my sword into waiting. He was also the same child that hold on to my sword while we was talking to the self-imposed lord of the city. The child had a very shiny light in his eye. He had potential, mother, as you would say, to me and my siblings during our training session.
Um, she gets up in the seat and she kind of motions with a hand for the lion to kind of stay where it is. And she walks towards the boy. You see her run her hand through the red hair. Is it dyed this colour in a similar tradition to the crane?
No, mother, that is his natural hair, from what his mother told me.
His mother? She one of the peasants that you sent?
Yes, mother. The peasants that I hope has joined the family as loyal servants due to me saving their life. Did I mention, mother, that we eradicated all the filth in the city? Father, it was a cold, calculating move. I led the charge myself and helped clear out all of the filth in the city.
He wasn't the only. They weren't the only ones to arrive from Murasabishin Toshi.
Yes, my cousin has recently arrived, according to my uncle, who also sent word. Father, I can relate that now if you wish me to do so.
What does your uncle have to say?
He says all is well in the capital. He is quite bored, actually.
Typical of your uncle. Surprised he isn't taking full advantage of the luxuries of the capital city. He never did settle down with a wife. Your mother sort of kneels down and looks at the Akira. His eyes? They're the colour of jade. Another unusual trait. Maybe a good omen.
Like I said, brother, his eyes had a unique shine to him. I saw potential. He also does well in his training sessions every morning and evening.
She sort of straightens herself up and like ruffles his hair. Seems my loyal companion here. She sits down, strokes the lion's mane again. It's gonna have to go hungry a little while longer.
I don't show the relief on my face as I hide it. It's like the relief is there, it's just masked by all of the fear. As my body untenses just a little bit. Thank you, brother. Thank you, father.
A grandchild is something that neither of us considered that we'd have anytime soon.
You also didn't consider me to be an emerald magistrate, mother. Yet, I rise.
We have a son who is an emerald magistrate and a 10-year-old grandchild. I welcome both of you home.
I get up from my bow. Thank you, mother. Thank you, father.
I would advise that both of you are likely to want to avoid Kosare, as she is now, as she should be, a member of the Okolo family residing here.
I don't see why she would give us trouble. If she does have an issue, she can surely come speak to me, mother.
She seemed angry when she arrived.
I can understand that.
She spoke of challenging our son to a duel when he arrived here.
I will surely take it if that's what you wish to happen.
Your father, as clan daimyo, already refused her.
Guess then.
He didn't want to see his son being dishonoured by an old woman.
What do you mean?
She became her late husband's wife after many successful duels. I don't imagine her skill as a swordswoman has dulled any in the time. In fact, being angry at you might make her even more dangerous.
I understand. I will return to the basics and reforge myself.
Is there anything that you wish to discuss while you're back home?
If I may ask, I wish to start Akira's training in the way of the Bushi. Mother, father, I say as I give a deep bow again. Only with your permission will I truly begin his training.
Your mother sort of looks at you. Wow. You're still mastering the ways of the Matsu yourself. Maybe it'd be more appropriate if our new grandson spent some time at court here and was enrolled into a formal school, Kenjutsu.
Mother, he didn't go through the early childhood training as me and my siblings did. I don't know how long Akira would last. Even with the training that I have been giving him, it's not enough for a formal school.
Then here is the deal, Kuro. The boy, if you wish him to be a member of the clan and risen to the status of samurai, will be trained in the way of the sword for a year under your tutelage on the road. The danger inherent in travelling through the Empire should make up for those years he lacked in training as a child. You'll have to learn quickly, I assume. After that year is up, then you must choose whether you want him to be trained in the way of the Akodo Bushi school or the Matsu Berserker school.
Mother, I didn't have a choice in which school I went to. You and father made that decision.
Because you had a temper as a child, and I knew you would be a good berserker. Some of your siblings are a lot calmer in their demeanour. And some chose the path of the courtier.
I will see how young Akira's attitude manifests within the year then, and I will report back to you on that decision.
The boy needs a weapon.
He cannot wield a sword yet. It is not right. Maybe a small knife like a Tonto to get him started.
You've given the boy the name Akodo. That makes him samurai, Kuro.
I understand. I will go get one fashioned for him.
Your father sort of stands up. He showed some interest in the boy. He clearly doesn't dislike him. He didn't ruffle his hair like your mother did. But you see him take the wakizashi out of his obi. And he sort of pats his lap. Come here, boy. If you're to be my grandson, then I should embrace you like one.
Oh no. Akira, go to your grandfather.
Akira sort of sits on his lap uncomfortably. And your father sort of holds out the wakizashi. I was a little older than you when my father gave me this.
Oh wait, give me a moment.
Yeah. Yep. Dog is going bush.
Dude, it's a
Oh no, I'm
party.
moving. No, I'm moving to the back room. Give me a moment.
Cool.
It's a party. That's funny. Is Kuro about to get passed over for a family heirloom?
Right? Is this kid just got here and he's getting the walk? How do you feel? How do you feel about that?
Your parents like
Ooh.
their grandson more than their actual son, bro.
Right.
Kuro
gotta hurt.
Kuro has a family heirloom.
Yeah, hold on. Don't do me like that. I have the family sword.
Yeah, he's got a cannon.
For now, you have the family
Still,
sword.
that's his honor, though, bro.
Yeah.
Don't do me. Hold on. Don't do
You just
me. I
got
have the family
replaced.
sword. Do not do me.
He my grandfather gave my father gave me this. It was his grandfather's. Your adopted father there. He wields the partner sword to this one. If you're to be his child and travel at his side. It seems only fitting that you have the wakizashi that accompanies that sword.
Father, may I object?
You may not.
I understand, Father. I will train him well. I swear upon my honor.
This marks you as a samurai, Akira. And when you return to us in a year after the journey on the road, you will have your own wakizashi ready to be presented to you. And most likely a sword to accompany it.
Father,
Yeah.
may I speak up?
Fine. Speak.
Father, mother, now you know that I, your humble child, have taken a finer appreciation of the physical arts. And due to that, my educational arts is lacking. During my time here, I would like it to see that if Kuro can get a teacher or a tutor to teach him the things that I know I cannot.
You'll have one of your siblings train him in the art of calligraphy while he's here.
Thank you, Father.
Now you have a sister. She is not a bushy. She actually chose to go and train as an Akoma Bard, which is a courtier skill of the Lion Clan. And they're quite knowledgeable in terms of like Rokogani history and lore, and etiquette and all the stuff that you sort of ignored as a child. As well as the art of performing and music. And she'll, during your time within the Akodo sort of fortress, you probably sit in some of your sister's lessons with your adopted son as she teaches him how to write.
I'm taking notes.
Um, she even shows him how to play a few smaller instruments during his time there. While you spend time training him in the use of the sword with
Does
a
he
proper boken and not a stick.
Does he take any particular interest in any of my sister teaching?
He does take a particular interest in music.
Okay.
Which might not surprise you being brought up as he was amongst higher class courtesans, which are essentially geisha, where music and storytelling and stuff is all part of what they do on top of all of the behind the curtain stuff. And he takes to playing musical instruments quite quickly.
Okay, that's something I have to notice as a father.
But now that you're here training him formally, he walks around with a bit more confidence to him, with the wakizashi sort of tucked in to his belt, and training with a proper boken or shinai or whatever you're using to train with. He holds that with a lot more confidence than he did with the stick that he was previously carrying about on the road with him.
Does Tanjiro stalk him? Does the lion stalk him? Just like I'm imagining how the lion would be.
Every now and again, when you're in the courtyard training with him, you catch the silhouette of the lion sort of circling the garden. He's not the only lion that circles the garden. You occasionally catch a glimpse of the former Lady Doji also circling the courtyard while you're training. But she never approaches you. Yeah. Is that everything you're wanting to do while you're here, Kuro?
Actually, there's thanks to the handy dandy notebook that Chuck made.
We're gonna have to get a screenshot of the notebook to show all the people in Twitch what we're talking about.
Oh yeah, I can get make a screenshot. Give you a screenshot of mine. But so I have like
on Twitter as well.
Yeah, I'll share mine on Twitter. No, that's great. That's actually a great idea. Yeah, share it on Twitter. So other than making sure that Akira gets training and stuff, taking my uncle's advice, I'm going to start repolishing up my political skills, and I'm going to start practicing my politics, basically, from forcing myself to sit through tea ceremonies, actually sitting in with my parents while they conduct business, painfully listening to every drawn out word.
Cool. I take it that you're going to probably be spending a little bit of experience on some of those skills during the downtime.
Not now, actually. I'm saving it up. But it's just like this is training. He's not just instantly going to get a level in it. He hates it. If anything, this is like a disadvantage for him. He hates it, so it's going to take twice as long for him to like get it. But this is just like the prerequisite that he's going to go through. He actually is going to check for any letters from his fiance, because she should have written a letter back by now, and he should have received something. That's
Yeah.
that's to be expected.
Yep.
Other than that,
Mm.
he's gonna want to try to acquire any information on great beasts so he can slay one.
Well, other than going into the Shadowlands, there might be like large lions and things like that in the plains around your family's lands. Slaying one of those would be that's taboo. You don't do that. That'd be like
Yeah.
killing another lion. But in the last few days of your time at home, you will receive a letter from the Emerald Champion. All of you do. Summoning you to court, telling you that you should prepare for travel to the domain of the Crab Clan. To-
Reading
to-
the letter, Curl is just gonna go, "Woo! Great beast, baby! Yes, sir! Yes, sir!"
And as for your betrothed, you do have a letter. It is short and sweet. She informs you that she has heard all about your promotion to the rank of an Emerald Magistrate, and that she is proud of you for achieving such a distinguished position, and that while it hurts her to find that some of her own clan have been conducting themselves so dishonourably, that she is glad that it was you who has taken care of this corruption within the Crane clan, and that she looks forward to seeing you in the future. She doesn't specify a time or a date or a place, but sometime in the near future, she is looking forward to meeting you face to face.
He's not falling for those sweet, simple words. She's a crane. They wasn't even supposed to be betrothed to one another. This is just reprimands for what the Crane family had took a part in on his scarring. So he understands what she's basically saying. He's just gonna write a letter back, reconfirming everything, and then he's gonna spend the rest of his time with his siblings, introducing Akira to his uncle and aunties, and making sure that he's properly trained and educated. I want Akira to be able to conduct himself properly on the next meeting. Now, knowing that we're going to the crabs, I actually, Kuro doesn't know if he wants to bring Akira along to this or not, because this is greatly dangerous, and he doesn't want the child to get anything of a Shadowland taint. So he's going to actually approach his mother and father again when Akira's asleep. That way he doesn't have to hear this conversation.
Okay. And you're going to ask if he can stay with them while you attend to business in the Crablands. Yeah. They are more than happy to do that. That they will take care of his basic Kenjutsu training while he's here and make sure that he learns his calligraphy and even how to conduct himself in a polite and etiquette style manner in front of other samurai.
Okay. Because as a father, Akira's not going to be taken into a... This is something he considers extremely dangerous, because I'm assuming that...
Oh yeah, the letter, it wouldn't have been giving you loads of detail, but it would have covered the basics of... You're going to be sent into the Crablands. They've requested that the Emerald Magistrate investigate a series of murders and disappearances, and that in itself is worrying. At least when you were going to the... heading south into the Crane Lands and towards the Mantis Isles, it was a bit of tension with Gaijin that you were looking into. It was going to be dangerous, but...
Nothing I couldn't handle. Basically.
Yeah, but like you're now going into a situation where you're going to be dealing with assassins that can kill crab samurai and disappear.
Yeah. So
Um,
knowing that I dealt with assassins and how they act, he doesn't want Akira to go through the same thing he went through. But at the same time, he's leaving him in the care of his parents. And he knows Lady Doji is here. And so before he leaves, he's gonna make sure that Akira stays far away from her. And that if she approaches him to go run for Tanjiro, that is a good lion. I am specifically telling him to call for that lion. That is a good lion. It may not look like it, but that's a good lion. And I'm making sure that he stays on the palace grounds at all times. Those are my rules to him as his father. Unless
Yeah.
mom and dad tell him to come on, he is not allowed to leave the palace grounds.
Cool. Right. That seems like a good place to.
Oh,
stop
actually, there's
for a
one
break.
more thing I want to check on.
Yep.
But oh wait, no, take your break because I gotta pee.
Cool. We'll take a break. I'll find out how the rest of you are feeling about the letter that you've been told in person, Kurokame, but how the other two are feeling about the letter that they received. And we'll jump to reuniting at the Imperial Palace.
Fantastic. All right, don't go anywhere, anybody. We are going to be taking a quick fiber. When we get back, we are going to be reuniting in the Emerald City. Don't go anywhere. Bye.
Oh, hi. Is that my dog at the door too?
Speaking of, I had
No,
a
no, no,
question,
no.
Andy.
Out. Out. Get
Hmm?
out.
Is there dog
Okay.
armor?
Come on.
No.
Damn. I think I've asked you that before. I just forgot.
Oh, and Andy, before we move on to the capital again, the thing I wanted to check up on was if the servants from before made it safely and how many actually came, because I'm assuming they're going to be placed in my household service and not just like in the clan service as a whole.
Most of them actually came.
Oh, okay, that's great.
Particularly all the ones that had like children.
How are they finding life? Are they good? Is it like
They've been
Like-
put to work in places like the kitchen and stuff like that, or some of them are actually skilled musicians and things like that. So they've been entertaining the household during
Okay.
meals and at court and things like that.
oh, okay? So I did better their lives. That's great.
Cool. So,
Oh, thank you so much for
Well,
the
thank
raid, new platinum content. Wow, I saw
New
it this
Platinum
time.
content. That's a good ass name.
Thank
Yeah.
you
Hello.
so much.
Thank you.
Welcome,
Thanks.
Raiders.
Hi.
I think the new platinum content is like Laney. Don't know if you've seen Laney on Twitter.
I think so.
Um,
Maybe not. A lot of people on Twitter.
yeah.
Thank you so
We're
much
the
for the raid.
NPCs.
Oh, the NPCs, that's funny.
Yep. So Kuro obviously he got recovered about getting the letter, summoned them back to court. Well, it was his sort of recap, and Kurokami, we kind of covered that conversation because you were obviously there when the crab was requesting the assistance. Your cousin asked you directly how you would feel about being sent to the situation, but Kisho and Shira, you both received this letter marked with the Emerald Champion seal that is obviously calling you back to court and outlines what the next sort of mission that the Emerald Champion wants you to do. And that is to go to the Crablands in the south of the Empire, where there have been a number of assassinations and disappearances along the wall.
The very first thing I do with that information is I dig in and see if we know anything about it.
As far as you've been told, the Scorpion clan is in no way involved in any of these assassinations and disappearances.
So are we all back in the capital in the waiting room?
We will be in a second.
Okay.
Kisho, just kind of covering how Shiro and Kisho feel about the letter before we get to that.
Kisho has a shopping montage of him and his Yojimbo, so they look their best going to court, and then they're up.
Cool. Okay. You want to look good for the Imperial champion.
Extravagant. Kisho spends 3 cocoa in his outfit. He spends one cocoa in his Yojimbo.
Your Jimbo's like, what is this?
Like, why am I wearing this? What's going on? I don't like.
Pimped out.
Don't you realise that I normally wear a kimono made out of like a rice sack cloth?
Oh no, he's got a whole paragraph about his outfit.
My man dripped.
He drippy as fuck, bro.
My man said drip. My man tried to outdo the Emerald Champion and drip.
Bling yo. Silk kimono. Everything's silver gilt.
Kisho's gonna go for the Ric Flair every time he goes to court and a whole new ass outfit.
Hmm.
Woo!
Cool. So you're geared up to go. Shiro, how are you feeling about this summons?
It's even harder this time to leave than it was last time. Last time it was, I got this, you got the whole wife thing, village, everything's really new, but I got to go do this thing to prove that I can earn it. Now it's like, man, you got a kid on the way, everything's looking good, and now I got to go to this even tougher place. So after coming like to terms with that, it's all methodical, like the same way he left last time, the same way of packing, the same way of everything, the same goodbyes, the same, because he wants to be able to come back the same way as well.
Your wife, she does a good job of not showing too much emotion about it. It's your duty, she understands that. But she wishes the Kami to watch over you on your journey. And prays that you'll return home safely. And so we jump to the Imperial Palace, probably a few weeks after you have received your summons. To the Emerald Champions sort of meeting room. You all arrive at different times, but you all meet in this room, the same as you did the first time.
I guess I'm first because I was already here, probably.
Yep.
Paint a picture for me again. I've got goldfish brain. What's the room laid out look like again?
The room is quite extravagant. There's like comfy floor pillows everywhere for guests to sit on. Everything sort of draped in like emerald coloured silks or sky blue silks to represent his home clan. Everywhere you look, there are chrysanthemums, which are the flower of the imperial family, or there's cranes depicted on things. You've all been given basins with warm water and cloths and things like that to clean yourselves, and you all have your own individual basin this time, since they learned after the first time not to give you a shared one.
I guess I would be I'd be excited to see everybody again. I feel like we're on the right path and we're doing what we're supposed to do. So I am probably impatiently just like pacing around, but slowly, and like doing like these big, huge, wide turns on one heel, like my whole body like woo, like kind of like a child in a way.
Okay. I think realistically, shoot. Sure. Kuro is probably the first one to arrive. The Lion clans lie very close to the capital.
Seeing that the Crane member of our group is here first, Kuro is just gonna give a nod of understanding in a slight bow of respect as he just sits down and is just like, oh, I'm gonna have to sit through this.
I bow deeper.
I have to pay attention this time.
Kurokama, you notice that the boy is not with him.
Did your family accept your son?
Yes, Akira's is with his grandmother and grandfather. They even went so far to give the boy the second half of the family sword. That's how well taken they was to the boy.
That is wonderful news. You should be happy about that.
I show him a tired expression.
Fatherhood is a challenge, I take it.
No. Did you not return home to talk to your parents?
No.
That explains it.
I smile. I smile, understanding his meaning, and yeah. When I bow, as I said, I did bow a little bit deeper, and I say, "It is good to see you, Kuro-san."
And you as well. It is great to be away from family. I forgot how much my life is stored in that home. More so than anywhere else. Oh, Lord.
Okay. I think second to arrive would probably be Shira. The Phoenix clans lie a little bit closer than the Scorpion clans to the Imperial capital.
Walking in and seeing a very much more relaxed relationship between these two than the last time we were here. I kind of smirk a little bit to that in my own head, noticing that. And then instead of going between them like I would typically do, I go off more towards the one side. As kind of like showing that I'm not gonna get in between you guys because you don't need it anymore. All right.
That's nice. I like that.
And yeah, I would just be really polite about it and say it's pleasant to see you all again. And then I like kind of look around and I'm like, the boy
With his grandparents.
Right.
I can't even say thankfully. Oh,
a relief face comes over my face either way because I don't know what I don't know what all that entails, but at least he's not dead.
I rubbed my temples. Oh.
What would be like the samurai version of a hug? They don't really touch.
From 300.
They don't really touch. That's the thing, is they don't really touch.
Probably a bow.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Then I bow to my bird bro, and when my head comes up, I'm grinning ear to ear, and I say, "I have long awaited your return."
I give a bow to Sheba as well. It's nice seeing you again. How is your family? How's your wife?
Very, very well, and to my surprise, expecting.
If you need tips on being a parent, you can ask me.
I definitely don't want to spoil the good mood going on here by bringing up anything, so I just give that chuckle, like okay. And I say it's something's never changed.
That's wonderful news. You're gonna make a most excellent father.
Yes, that child is going to be a wonderful warrior. I can't wait for the days our boys work together. That would be wonderful.
I give that strong head nod.
No, my boy is staying far away from yours.
Yeah,
Exactly.
sure, they're having so much fun.
Yeah, sure. Immediately forgets about it.
TBC says the bro bow. Yeah.
The bro bow, yes.
The bro bow.
I return the bro bow for sure.
Okay. Finally, Kisho arrives with an extra person in tow.
Yes. So Kisho decided to bump up the ostentatiousness to level 11. So he walks in. We're talking Met Gala full manto black cape that trails 3 feet behind him. He's got the Scorpion Can sigil in the back of it, and it looks to be different stories embroidered on it. It's all black, so it's hard to tell, but the more prominent one is the frog and the scorpion on the right breast. He has a high veil that's coming up over his head and hides everything but the very bottom of his mask. So beneath the black veil, all you see are that row and row of red teeth. Similarly, his Yojimbo is wearing an all-black kimono as well, all silk, very all obviously brand new. And Kisho walks in, and he just looks at everybody and he nods.
I give a slight bow. Nice. I like it. Who is this additional person?
Kisho looks to his Yojimbo. Tell him to introduce himself.
The Yojimbo bows deeply to the three of you. My name is Nambo Takahiko. It's a pleasure to meet you, Emerald Magistrates.
I bow to him and say, indeed.
I give him a bow as well. It says pleasure.
I was so impressed with how you fought within Tabashi Toshi. I thought that you could watch your own back, Isho. I say in a playful manner, not trying to like egg you on or anything, just like you telling you in a way that like you did a really good job.
You see, Kisho nods, and I did, but not to make light of the situation, but throwing things across the room several times, maybe small steps.
Small steps including all of this elegance?
No, those are normal steps.
I see.
Court, it's all a part of the game. You dress for the role.
Yes, speaking of the game, my family would like to request you to come visit our home, actually. At the next chance we get. Surely you do not wish to turn down the daimyo of my family. This is a great honor to be invited into my clan.
If your daimyo requests, I will obviously make every intention to visit your lovely home.
Ah, yes. So you will be coming home with me once we return with this journey. Excellent.
Shanghai.
You just see him he just wants to just gut himself, right? just
I will be letting my father know after this meeting that you will be meeting us home, that you will be coming home with me after this missions is over.
It sounds like a great time.
Yes, I will make sure you have a wonderful time in my home. Do be careful of the lions.
Where's the... Of the what?
Pet lions. We have that running all around our estate.
Is that why the child is not with you?
How? No, of course not. Tanjiro only stalked him a few times and pounced on him once. So far. That I am aware of. Tanjiro's a nice lion. He dragged me by my neck when I was a child and dropped me at the feet of my mother plenty of times.
Did you just say he dragged you by the neck as a child?
Yes. Did you guys not go through the same thing?
No.
Y'all never played with lions when y'all was younger? Never fought them? Play wrestled them? Had them stalk you? Vice versa?
Shinigami was never that big.
Are you okay?
Yeah, it's great. I mean, not when you're like 3, but then when you get to like 5 and you really know what's going on, and so you know how to like maneuver around the lion in and out of its like claws in its grass, because they're like not trying to kill you, they're messing with you.
It sounds like your parents were actively trying to kill you.
No, most of the children go through that in the estate. It's okay.
There's too much to unwrap there. We have matters to attend.
What do you mean unwrap? There's nothing to unwrap. It's a way of life.
Your parents were trying to feed you to.
No.
Oh, sorry,
we do that to anybody that break in, any burglars and stuff like that. Oh yeah, right to the lion. I seen Tanjiro rip a man's arm off one time. It was great.
Is that what actually happened to you?
You cut out.
Is that what actually happened to your face? Are we just covering it?
What do you mean? There's nothing wrong with my face.
Okay. Let us speak to the champion. See what there's too much going on. Let's speak about perhaps to the champion.
can't believe you guys didn't have lions running around your household.
Oh man.
Keisho maybe feels a little bit bad for now, finding out that by lions as a child regularly.
Kuro's just shocked. He's like, dang, you guys didn't get stalked by lions and attacked by them, but on like a daily basis?
Thank you for the follows.
I never had a lion stalking you guys from like down the hallway quietly
How
before
could
it
these
pounces on
lions
you.
fit within your the walls of your castle or your estate?
Like any normal person?
Have a large home.
Well, of course, naturally. I assumed everybody's was the same with lions running around.
Our home
No.
is
Sheba,
large, but-
your home is quite large. Do you have lions running around?
No. We don't have lions running around.
Oh, I must change that. I'll make sure that each of your families receive a cub.
Never. Please, no.
You can
No.
keep it, thank you. How fares your village, Sheba?
They're well-tamed pets.
The village
I-
as well, and you'd like the certain person I had play you in a certain play I put on.
We have plays,
I had one, yes, in my village.
and did give
You were
word.
in it.
I would.
Not for you, but couldn't find a man that could quite live up to you.
No, I would
I
have
get
wished
like
to
a
come
half
see
now.
it. I would have wished to come see it. My family is quite known for our bards. My sister has excellent storytelling skills. I would have loved to come sit down and watch.
So
I'm sure
amateur
you could have
at
found
best.
something to be loud and obnoxious. You could have captured him.
I would love to see such a thing, amateur or not.
I'm just in the crowd like, yeah, I did that. That was me. No, I shouted louder than that.
As you are mid conversation, the door slides open, and the Emerald Champion comes shuffling in, fully draped out in a sky blue kimono, with trains embroidered on one side of it, wearing practically full geisha makeup. Katana and wakizashi tucked in. Attendants either side holding the sleeves and the back of the kimono up so he can actually walk. Out belonging Kisho once again. And following in behind him is a crab lord going by the sort of cloth kimono that he's wearing that has the sort of clan and family mons emblazoned upon it. The crab that follows him in is like face is crisscrossed with multiple scars, and you can see them up his arms as the kimono sleeves are only come down to the elbow. The Emerald Champion sort of bows to the four of you, and the Crab Lord sort of also bows. It
I
takes
give
a
a-
position.
I give a
Standing
deep
next
bow
to
in
him.
return.
Yeah, for sure.
Oh yeah, the deep.
Keisha does.
The deep. Do I recognize this crab lord from my time in court?
Yeah, he's the one who's been petitioning the Emerald Champion. His name is Hidasota, Sota. Means thick, apparently. He's quite short, but like wide and all muscle. He's probably getting on in age. You can see that he's got like the big, thick, wild mutton chop type sideburns going on. with like streaks of grey going through them whenever they're not patchy with the scars that sort of crisscross his face.
Nice. He's a extinguished gentleman.
The Emerald Champion sort of looks to the four of you. I am pleased that those of you that returned home for the past few months were so quick in responding to the summons. Lord Hida here has a request of the Empress. And I feel that the four of you, after your accomplished deeds in Murasabishi's Toshi, would be excellent candidates to aid Lord Hida in his plight. The crab sort of nods his head. I indeed have a request for the Empress and the Emerald Champion. The town that I govern along the wall, the town of Togasu, has been the site of a few untimely deaths and disappearances of samurai within my court. My own magistrates have failed to uncover the culprits. Sort of looks over the four of you, sort of weighing the four of you up. The clan champion suggested that I should come to court and request the assistance of the Emerald Magistrate in such a situation. You can tell that he's not happy about having to come to the Emerald Champion and to... well, he probably sees you all as like young and fairly inexperienced samurai to help him.
And now I make an etiquette roll. Try to like ease his mind.
Yeah, go ahead.
A trained roll. Skadoosh, 24.
I'm looking less dead in court today.
So, what are you saying to him to ease his mind? You've done it successfully, but yeah.
Oh, sweet. Okay. I say, most honorable Dea, we are not some young trifling samurai. We have been tested and found true. You coming to seek us out is a virtue to, or is a speaks testament to your care for your people and not the weakness of your strength. We will ensure that whatever you tell us does not leave this room, and we will act with the best interest of the Empire at heart, as always.
Heard about you in Murasabishi's Toshi, driving out an entire gang of thugs, uncovering corruption. Admirable. But whatever is stalking my men and women takes more than some thugs to slay a crab. I think that you might be up to the task, or at least you won't be taken lightly by whatever it is that's causing the issue. Now, I've been waiting at court for almost a month. Any questions that you may have, you can ask on the road.
I like him already. I like him already.
I have requested the champion here provide you all with mounts to make the journey that little bit quicker. The Emerald Champion nods his head. We have procured some Rokogani horses to help ease the journey south. You'll be going much further than Murasabishi Toshi.
I bow and say, "Thank you. That is very gracious."
I give a deep bow and give my thing. Beats walking. I mean,
If possible to interrupt, is there any other? Do we have any other forces?
Any other forces?
Have any horse or any clans been sent to help already, or the first to arrive? And if we are first to arrive, may I request a simple garrison of reinforcements?